Hey y'all, it's time to do the new releases for June the 12th. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is for you. My cat is crunching loudly on something. I'm sorry if the mic picks that up. We have an interesting list this week. Very, very interesting. Some of them I'm really thinking about putting. I want to pick them up. Just gotta stick with the TBR. There's enough on the TBR. We will move right along though without me babbling much more, but I'm Morgan. For those of you who have not been here before, thank you for clicking on this. I hope you find something new and interesting that you like from this video, and if you do, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see all the future videos. Also, there might be loud bird noises. They're waking up. Okay, let's move on and hope the bird noises aren't that loud. We will start with YA this week because there's only the one. So let's go ahead and knock that out. I think there's a bird's nest like right there. Okay. Baby birds though, you know, baby birds. This one is going to be Something Close to Magic by Emma Mills. It sounds cute. It does. It's not all sugar and spice at Basil's Bakery, where 17-year-old Aurora Lee is an overworked, underappreciated apprentice. Still, the job offers stability, which no-nonsense Aurora Lee values highly. She keeps her head down and doesn't dare to dream big until a stranger walks in and hands her a set of seeking stones. In a country where seeking was old-fashioned even before magic went out of style, it's a rare skill, but Lee has it. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm going to keep butchering this name. I really don't know how to say it. The stranger, who turns out to be a remarkably bothersome bounty hunter named Ileana, asks for Aurelie's help rescuing someone from the dangerous underwood, which sounds suspiciously like an adventure. When the someone turns out to be Prince Hapless, the charming but aptly named prince, Aurelie's careful life is upended. Suddenly, she finds herself on a quest filled with magic portals, a troll older than the many trees, and a few rocks, and a dangerous palace intrigue. Even more dangerous are the feelings she's starting to have for Hapless. The more time Aurelie spends with him, the less she can stand the thought of going back to her solitary but dependable life at the bakery. Must she choose between losing her apprenticeship or her heart? So it sounds cozy and adventurous and cute, which I don't get from YA much. I don't get cute from YA much. From there, we'll move into regular fantasy, like adult, epic, those sorts of fantasies. The first one is going to be Psyche and Eros by Luna McNarma. Who said true love is a myth? A prophecy claims that Psyche, princess of Mycenae, will defeat a monster feared even by the gods. Rebelling against her society's expectations for women, Psyche spends her youth mastering blade and bow, preparing to meet her destiny. When Psyche angers the love goddess Aphrodite, she sends Eros, god of desire, to deliver a cruel curse. After eons watching humanity twist his gifts, the last thing Eros wants is to become involved in the chaos of the mortal world. But when he pricks himself with the arrow intended for Psyche, Eros finds himself doomed to yearn for a woman who will be torn from him the moment their eyes meet. Thrown together by fate, headstrong Psyche and world-weary Eros face challenges greater than they could have ever imagined. As the Trojan War begins and divine powers try to keep them apart, the pair must determine if their curse could become something more before it's too late. Maybe, but I want to see probably what everybody else says about it too. Is my camera crooked? I don't know. Hopefully not. Or this whole video is going to be filmed in crooked. Our next fantasy is a historical type fantasy, and this one is an alternate history type of historical. It takes place right after World War I. I talked about it a bit in my May wrap-up, so you can go see my thoughts there on that one. This is The First Bright Thing by J.R. Dawson. Ringmaster Rin, to those who know her best, can jump to different moments in time as easily as her wife Odette soars from bar to bar on the trapeze. And the circus they lead is a rare home, a safe haven for magical misfits and outcasts known as Sparks. With the world still reeling from World War I, Rin and her troupe, the Circus of Fantasticals, travel the Midwest, offering a single night of enchantment and respite for all who step into their big top. But threats come at Rin from all sides. The future holds an impending war that the Sparks can see barreling toward their show and everyone in it, and Rin's past creeps closer every day, a malevolent shadow she can't fully escape. It takes the form of another circus, with tents as black as midnight and a ringmaster who rules over his troupe with a dangerous power. Rin's circus has something he wants, and he won't stop until it's his. words. Things you don't know from this description though is that it will be a dual POV split timeline sort of situation. As it said, Rin can jump to different moments. So the split timeline is also from her perspective, as she will jump to different moments in time and history there. And it is a lot about mental health and finding your own, stability. And yes, I liked it. It's just, I don't know. There were some things that just weren't great. Or maybe the time period. I don't know. It was just little things that would make me not love it, I guess. But everybody's open to their own opinion and trying it. Our next one I will mention with an asterisk because the audio version came out in October, but now the print version is coming out. And normally you see the reverse of this. You'll see the print and then maybe a month or two later sometimes, if it doesn't come out at the same time, the audio. But this one was a bit reversed. But I have to mention it because of the mythological, historical person that it's about. And it's like my namesake and stuff, so I got to. It's Morgan Is My Name by Sophie Keach. Young Morgan of Cornwall lives a happy life in Tingal Castle until King Uther Pendragon, with the help of the sorcerer Merlin, murders her father and tricks her mother into marriage. Furious, brilliant, and vengeful, Morgan defies her brutal stepfather, taking up a secret education, discovering a lifelong affinity with the healing arts, and falling in love with a man far beneath her station. However, defiance comes at a cost. Used as a bargaining chip in her stepfather's war games, Morgan finds herself banished to a world of isolated castles and gossiping courts amidst the machinations of kings, sorcerers, and men. But some desires are not easily forgotten, and the search for her independence is a quest Morgan cannot give up. As the era of King Arthur approaches, she must use all her wit, knowledge, and courage to fight against those who wish to deny her intelligence, crush her spirit, and control her body. But in seeking her freedom, Morgan risks losing everything: her reputation, her loved ones, and her life. So it's a Morgan Le Fay, retelling story. But it sounds good. It sounds really good. I like it. And it's not painting her as, the evil witch. So always plus. I mean, even when she is the evil witch, though. Our next one also should come with an asterisk. It's still fantasy, maybe a bit bordering sci-fantasy, because I put sci-fantasy and I don't remember why right now. But it comes with an asterisk because it seems to have been originally self-published maybe in 2015, but now it's being put out by Orbit Books. The whole trilogy is being re-released with new covers and maybe updated a bit. I don't know. I've seen other people talking about this though, and now reading about it myself, it does sound interesting, and like I might want to, and the cover is got a dragon. It's got a dragon. The second book of this will be published in December. So this month's the first book. Second book in the trilogy is out in December. The third one, though, I don't know that it had a date, or it might have just said 2024. This is Combat Codes. Did I say that yet? By Alexander Darwin. I don't remember. I don't know. In a world long ago ravaged by war, the nations have sworn an armistice never to use weapons of mass destruction again. Instead, highly skilled warriors known as Griever Knights represent their nation's interest in a brutal hand-to-hand combat. Murray Pearson was once a famed knight until he suffered a loss that crippled his homeland, but now he is on the hunt to discover the next champion. In underground and ruthless combat rings, an orphan boy called Sergio is making a name for himself. Murray believes Sergio, that's probably not right, has what it takes to thrive in the world's most prestigious combat academy, but first, Sergio must prove himself in the vicious arenas of the underworld, and survival isn't guaranteed. So, yeah, it may be worth checking out, and probably gonna check it out. Next one, though, is a sci-fantasy, for sure. Probably. It sounds like it. It's The Surviving Sky by Kritika H. Rao. Hopefully I did not mispronounce that much. Enter a world of cataclysmic storms, planet-wide jungles, floating cities, and devastating magic in this first book in an explosive new science fantasy trilogy. Ha! That's why I knew. So I said that. High above the jungle planet float the last refugees of humanity. Plant-made civilizations held together by tradition, technology, and arcane science. Here, architects are revered deeply, with humanity's survival reliant on privileged few. If not for their abilities, the cities would plunge into the devastating earth-rage storms below. Charismatic and powerful, Erevan is such an architect. His abilities are his identity, but to Aliyah, his archaeologist wife, they are a method to suppress non-architects. Their marriage is thorny and fraught, yet when a jungle expedition goes terribly wrong, jeopardizing their careers, Aliyah and Arvin must work together to save their reputations. But as their city begins to plummet, their discoveries threaten not only their marriage, but their entire civilization. I want to read this one too. I want to read this one too. Oh, sunshine, sunshine. There's just so many. There's just so many. Okay. And this next one I actually put on a list before because in the anticipated release thing, like on its first information sheet that I'd gotten for it, it said it did come out in May. And maybe I didn't double check. Maybe I didn't double check to make sure it was really coming out. So now I'm like triple checking all the ones that come from my anticipated in these weekly ones. Because when I checked it again, when I saw it pop up last week, I was like, wait, that one already came out. And so I double checked several sites. Neighbor's dog is out. And it said it was coming out this week. And I'm like, well, crap. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm sorry that I put it as a misinformation in May. But this week, fantasy romance A Crown of Ivy and Glass by Claire Legrand is coming out apparently. This one follows Lady Gemma Ashbourne as she seemingly has it all. She is young, gorgeous, and rich. Her family was anointed by the gods, blessed with incredible abilities, but underneath her glittering facade, Gemma is deeply sad. Years ago, her sister Mara was taken to the Middle Mist to guard against treacherous magic. Her mother abandoned the family. Her father and eldest sister, Farron, maybe, embroiled in a deadly blood feud with the mysterious Basque family, often forget Gemma exists. Worst of all, Gemma is the only Ashbourne to possess no magic. Instead, her body fights it like poison. Constantly ill, aching with loneliness, Gemma craves love and yearns to belong. Then she meets the devastatingly handsome Talon D'Aster. His family destroyed themselves, seduced by a demon, and Talon, the only survivor, is determined to redeem their honor. Intrigued and enchanted, Gemma proposes a bargain. She'll help Talon navigate high society if he helps her destroy the Basques. According to popular legend, a demon called the Man with the Three-Eyed Crown is behind the family's blood feud. Slay the demon in the feud. But attacks on the Middle Mist are increasing. The plot against the Basques quickly spirals out of control, and something immense and terrifying is awakening in Gemma, drawing her inexorably toward Talon, an all-consuming passion that could destroy her or show her the true strength of her power at last. Oh my god, I can't speak. Next we'll move into romance. The first one being Love Theoretically by Allie Hazelwood, which is the next in her STEM romance series. They are all individual books as far as I can tell. The many lives of a theoretical physicist, Elise Hannaway, have finally caught up with her. By day, she's an adjunct professor toiling away at grading labs and teaching thermodynamics in hopes of landing tenure. By other day, Elise makes up for her non-existent paycheck by offering her services as a fake girlfriend, tapping into her expertly honed people-pleasing skills to embody whichever version of herself the client needs. Honestly, it's a pretty sweet gig until her carefully constructed Elise verse comes crashing down. Because Jack Smith, the annoyingly attractive and arrogant older brother of her favorite client, turns out to be the cold-hearted experimental physicist who ruined her mentor's career and undermined the reputation of theorists everywhere. And he's the same Jack Smith who rules over the physics department at MIT, standing right between Elise and her dream job. Elise is prepared for an all-out war of scholarly sabotage, but those long, penetrating looks, not having to be anything other than her true self when she's with him, will falling into an experimentalist's orbit finally tempt her to put her most guarded theories on love into practice? That last little paragraph there, it's hard to say. This next one, it's adorable. It's adorable. I like the cover. It's A Love Catastrophe by Helena Hunting. Kitty Hart has become internet famous as the Kitty Whisperer for her expertise on all things feline, and as a result, her cat-sitting business is booming. But lately, she has a terrible feeling that maybe her life isn't quite going where it's supposed to, especially after falling face first into her newest client. Not exactly the best first impression. Fortunately, Miles Thorne is just as bad at first impressions. Strike one, he doesn't like cats, especially Prince Francis, the haughty and mischievous sphinx his mom left in his care. Strike 2. Tackling Kitty to the floor in a misguided attempt to save the pet he continually calls the gremlin. Okay. As awkwardness slides into attraction and things start to turn personal, like purr, will these two complete opposites ever be able to find their furry tale ending? Oh my goodness, I hope it's as adorable as it sounds. Oh my goodness. Next, we have our only thriller of the week, and this is Inside Threat by Matthew Quick. This is apparently the author from behind the book The Night Agent, which is now the Netflix show. They wanted you to know that. Assume the worst. Code Black. The day that every Secret Service agent trains for has arrived. The White House has been breached. The president forced to flee to a massive doomsday bunker outside D.C. to defend against whatever comes next. Only the most trusted agents and officials are allowed in with him, those dedicated to keeping the government intact at all costs. Among these is Eric Hill, who has given his life to the Secret Service. They are his purpose and his family, and his impressive record has made him a hero among them. Despite his growing disillusionment from seeing Washington corruption up close, Eric can't ignore years of instinct honed on the job. The government is under attack, and no one is better equipped to face down the threat than he is. The evidence leads him to a conspiracy at the highest levels of power, and the attack orchestrated by some of the very individuals now locked in with him. As the killers strike inside the bunker, it will take everything Eric Hill has to save his people, himself, and his country. Okay. Then we have some historical fiction. The first is going to be Sally Brady's Italian Adventure by Christina Lynch. What if you found yourself in the middle of a war armed only with lipstick and a sense of humor? Abandoned as a child in Los Angeles in 1931, Dust Bowl refugee Sally Brady convinces a Hollywood movie star to adopt her and grows up to be an effervescent gossip columnist, secretly satirizing Europe's upper crust. By 1940, Saucy Sally is conquering fascist-era Rome with cheek and charm. A good deed leaves Sally stranded in war-torn Italy, brandishing a biting wit, a fake passport, and an elastic sense of right and wrong. To save her friends and find her way home through a land of besieged castles and villas, Sally must combat tragedy with comedy, tie up pompous bureaucrats in their own red tape, force the cruel to be kind, and unravel the mystery, weight, and meaning of family. Interesting sounding. Then we have The Last Lifeboat by Hazel Gaynor, maybe? I don't know. This one sounds like it'll hit you in the feels more than the other one. The other one sounds like funny historical fiction, you know? They bring comedy to it. This one's going to hit you in the feels. It says, inspired by a remarkable true story, a young teacher evacuates children to safety across perilous waters. 1940 Kent. Alice King is not brave or daring. She's happiest finding adventure through the safe pages of books. But times of war demand courage, and as the threat of German invasion looms, a plane crash near her home awakens a strength in Alice she'd long forgotten. Determined to do her part, she finds a role perfectly suited to her expertise as a schoolteacher, to help evacuate Britain's children overseas. 1940 London. Lily Nichols once dreamed of using her mathematical talents for more than tabulating the cost of groceries, but life and love charted her a different course. With 2 lively children and a loving husband, Lily's humble home is her world, until war tears everything asunder. With her husband gone and bombs raining down, Lily is faced with an impossible choice. Keep her son and daughter close, knowing she may not be able to protect them, or enroll them in a risky evacuation scheme, where safety awaits so very far away. When a Nazi U-boat torpedoes the SS Carlisle, carrying a ship of children to Canada, a single lifeboat is left adrift in a storm-tossed Atlantic. Alice and Lily, strangers to each other, one on land and the other at sea, will quickly become one another's very best hope as their lives are fatally entwined. So yeah, that sounds like it'll hit you in the feels. Yeah. That's all the new releases for this week. Maybe you found something new and exciting to add to your TBR, or just one you want to keep an eye on to see what other people are saying about it. For one of them, like I said, you can check out my May wrap-up and find the information about that one. And if you enjoyed this video and haven't yet, maybe you'll consider subscribing and liking and checking out other videos like the May wrap-up and maybe even the Stephen King reading vlog. I don't know. But thank you so much for being here. I hope you're finding something awesome to read today, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.